Please welcome John Grobler of the band St. Lucia. John?
Hey, how are you?
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Thanks for coming on. Where's that accent from?
I'm from South Africa originally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did you get started in the business of music?
Well, it was kind of a long story, I guess. I've been involved in it since I was a kid. I was in the Drakensberg Boys Choir when I was a kid in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
And I then moved to England to study music. And after that, I moved to the States and worked as a jingle writer for a while. And then I left that job to start my own studio, and that's where St. Lucia kind of emerged from.
Well, that's great. And after watching that commercial and hearing your song on that, how did all of that come about? Did Victoria's Secret, did we just contact your manager and say, would you guys like to be in the Victoria's Secret commercial? I mean, how do you, as an artist, make a decision about where you want your music and whether you'd say yes or no to Victoria's Secret?
Well, I mean, obviously, being on a Victoria's Secret commercial is an amazing opportunity.
Is it?
I mean, it is. But you know, as a band, as an artist, you have to be mindful of, you know, not selling out too much or you know, aligning yourself with the wrong kind of brands. But I think Victoria's Secret is it's kind of the perfect commercial to be on, because I think it's the one commercial that no one is going to change the channel when it comes on.
That is true.
So it seemed like a pretty good choice.
And then after a while, because I loved your music on that commercial, and after a while, when I'd hear that, it triggered me to run into the room and watch the commercial, because I knew that that song was associated with that beautiful commercial.
Right, which I mean is an amazing association, I think.
And then just tell me about what you're doing now in your projects, and I think you guys are about to come out with a new album, or did I make that up?
No, we are.
And you're about to go on tour as well then, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of constantly on tour. I think that's just the reality for bands these days, is you're just constantly on the road and playing shows and exposing your music to different people. But yeah, we just recently finished our album. It's finally mastered and everything's done, and we're just figuring out the release schedule at the moment.
What do you think it's going to be?
Probably early fall, with a single coming out before that. But yeah, so we're just working towards that whole thing.
And then with your touring, is there a favorite place that you have, or a favorite concert that you've had? You know, by way of, you can always tell if the audience is into it, if they're paying attention, if they're like, you know, singing every song. Is there a place that you've performed that you just loved?
Well, there are a couple of different places. I mean, sometimes you're just surprised if you're supporting another band. Like we supported Ellie Goulding on her US tour. And, you know, in somewhere like Orlando, where you just wouldn't imagine that people would really know your music, we had an amazing response. And then also, last weekend we played Boston Calling Festival. And the weather was terrible, it was raining, but the audience was incredible, and they were all singing along to our music and dancing, and it was just, it was an amazing experience.
It's like they're the diehards, you know, they'll come in any weather, any situation.
Right, I mean, it's amazing.